Good morning from Chengdu. So if you haven't seen my first China video, right now I am traveling around China with a company called the Dragon Trip. They have a 25-day China loop from Hong Kong to Hong Kong, which is what I am on now. We're still only on about day 6, but I am so happy to be here in Chengdu because Chengdu is famous for its pandas. So I have seen so many pictures of these pandas online and so many videos, and we are going to go and see them this morning. This place is so cool so far. We're literally just walking through the grounds now to the pandas, but they've got like so many panda pictures everywhere and like themed panda everything. I love it.
Hey.
Oh, hello Lily.
Hi guys.
But by the end of the last year, the number goes up to over 200. And also, this is the world's largest breeding center right now.
This is so good so far, and we have just learnt from our guide as well that the reason that they're having to breed these pandas here and the reason that they were going extinct was partly, I think, because of humans, but also just because of themselves, because they just couldn't look after themselves. They couldn't get enough. They eat a lot of bamboo, but bamboo doesn't give them all the nutrients that they need. They were having trouble, like digestive troubles. And the other thing is when they're born, they're literally tiny as well. They don't even open their eyes until 6 weeks old, so they're super vulnerable. And we also got told that there's a 50% chance that the mum could have twins. Usually it's just one like pup that they kind of have, and yeah, they could have twins, but if they have twins, then they basically, in the wild, they pick which baby they want, and then discard the other one basically, because they don't have enough energy and resources and breast milk to look after both of them. So it sounds like a really hard upbringing, and that's obviously why a lot of them don't survive, and also why they have gone into extinction. And there are over 200 pandas in here, although as a tourist like we are here today, you do only see a couple of them. And they're called like the tourist pandas, and they will pretty much spend their lives kind of in this area. But then there are some really big green spaces on the outside of the park that are closed to tourists. They're pretty much kind of like in the wild. Well, needless to say, that was such a good morning. It was really busy there, and at some points we were kind of like fighting to get photos, but there were plenty of spots where there were no people, and it was just so amazing. So yeah, I feel like just from doing that this morning, I'm like so happy that I came to China, because that is a huge bucket list tick for me. Now we're back at the hostel, and we're actually going to be learning some Mandarin, so that could be interesting.
Can you guys say beer? It's wrong. And for number 2, R. Local culture 4 is an unlucky number because got the similar pronunciation of the word death. This is why 4 is an unlucky number. You can see 4th floor. It is 1, 2, 3, 5. Let's try it again, everyone. 炒饭. 炒饭. What I said, 炒饭 is mean fried rice. So 炒 is mean fried. And 饭 is mean rice. What you say is fuck rice.
I feel like I could learn this.
Yeah.
As if we haven't already had a really good day today, we are now at the Szechuan Opera. Well, it is the next day, and another thing that I really wanted to do in China was see the Buddha that is carved inside the rock face. And as it turns out, that is just outside of Chengdu, which is where I was staying. Because there was only 3 of us that wanted to come here to the Buddha today out of a group of 13, it would have been too expensive to get a private bus and like guide. So we've actually just come here on our own. So we bought the tickets from a bus station, which is literally next door to Mrs Panda Hostel. And then the bus just dropped us near the tourist centre. So we still had to walk a little bit to the Buddha. But what this does mean is that it is very, very easy to do yourself. You do not need to do a tour here unless you want to, or be on a tour. You can just, come and do this yourself, because that is exactly what we are doing. Step 1 is quite a few stairs. I kind of thought we'd be like seeing the Buddha at this point at the start, but there's no Buddha in sight just yet. So just while I catch my breath, I'll explain why the Buddha was built. So way back when, I'm not actually too sure of the date, at this point there are 2 rivers that join together, and those rivers were very fast flowing and quite a few people were dying in them. So the monk had this idea to build a Buddha into the rock face and then deposit the stone that was taken out of the rock into the river, which then slowed down both of the rivers, and which then forms into one river, and then also had a Buddha watching over it. Well, we found him, got the head. It is very, very big, and to get to the bottom, so basically we had to climb up a load of stairs to the top. There's loads of temples and stuff at the top, and now we've got to go in a queue to walk down to the bottom to the feet, to walk back up again, to walk back down again. So we're on the plank walk right now, which is like down the side of the Buddha. We have had to queue quite a bit. I mean, it is a Sunday today, but I feel like it's probably always busy. I did wonder, like, is it going to be worth it? Because you can see quite a good view at the top, but you can definitely see a much better view from like down here and then at the bottom as well. Like, I can just see his hands right now, and there's absolutely huge. But you do have to be careful because these steps are very, very steep going down, and I think they're going to be pretty steep going up as well. We are back at the top now as well. So my verdict is it was actually better like halfway down those stairs than it actually was at the bottom, because it was quite hard to see all of it and definitely take a picture of it all as well. And it is pretty touristy here. There's not that much to do once you're here, and it is a long journey to get here. But I feel like if you're someone like me who had just like seen this icon and was like, that's China, this is China, then it's definitely worth going. I'm definitely glad that I have come here today. The rest of the group have just been exploring the city. What are we doing tonight? We're going for a hot pot tonight, and then we are leaving tomorrow. And also, if you are liking the look of this trip that I'm doing here in China and you think you want to come to China, I would definitely recommend doing a tour here. That's something that I've always wanted to do here. I've never really wanted to do it by myself. And the Dragon trip, they do the tour that I'm obviously doing, which is a 25-day Hong Kong to Hong Kong loop. But they also do lots of different trips, like quite a few of the people that I'm with here are doing from Hong Kong to Beijing, which is in 2 weeks. So really good for annual leave. So, and I've also got a 10% discount code for all of their China trips. And they also do trips in Japan and India and Southeast Asia. If you are interested in doing a tour around China or any of them other countries, then yeah, head to the link and check out my discount code below as well.
Triple and mixed with garlic or coriander. It's more like a make your own sauce.
It is absolutely tipping it down. We are literally camping right next to the wall.